characters. Her 1964 novel, Desert of the Heart, which tells the love story of two women, is considered a touchstone and was later adapted for film. The books, described as forthright, complex, and imaginative, have been translated into many languages and have earned her literary as well as human rights awards. Generous and caring, she is much loved by other writers and by members of her community. Your Honor, I present for the Order of Canada, Jane Rule. Have you anything to say?
It's your turn, James.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Lieutenant Governor and the Prime Minister for making this journey to Galliano and making this possible. It's normally presented at Ottawa, where I could not go. And when I said rather shyly, couldn't you just put it in the mail? I said, no, it wasn't done that way. I also would like to thank all of you who are involved in getting this hall ready. It's wonderful, and for organizing food for the potluck lunch that follows. And mainly I'd like to thank Kendall for organizing the whole lot. There's a certain sadness in your singular old age when something as wonderful as this happens and the important people that you wish to see here are no longer with us. Helen, my beloved companion of 45 years, my parents, whose love and support and good humor I was counting on. I even have to mention my sister, who should be here and broke her foot yesterday. I think of my grandmother Rule, who was the matriarch of the family. When I first went to England at 19, just to go to summer session at Stratford to study Shakespeare, my grandmother said, you must take a hat. You must take a proper hat, in case you were invited to a garden party at Buckingham Palace. Well, I took the hat. I needed to say was not invited to a garden party at Buckingham Palace. But one day I wore the hat when I wanted to go to Westminster Abbey to service there. And the usher mistook me for one of the young Roosevelts and ushered me into a pew with all of the Roosevelt family, including Eleanor. And I could see people across the way saying, there's Jim. Who the devil? Well, I reported to my grandmother that though I hadn't made it to Buckingham Palace, I had been mistaken for a Roosevelt. But she was a staunch Republican. She was horrified. You know, it was a bit like a Roosevelt. I think, so I don't have the hat on, she was proof. I wish she could be with us. I want to thank all of you who are with me, and the joy it is to have you with me, my niece and her partner, lots of off-island friends, and all of my island friends. It's just wonderful to share this time with you. Helen and I first came to Vancouver in 1956. Vancouver was not then a city so much as a setting for a city. There were two high-rise buildings in the West End, and the rest of it was a sea of parking lots. You could park anywhere, but there was nowhere to go. And the university, too, in its beautiful setting, was a sea of Quonset huts, which had been hauled from military bases over the campus to deal with the explosion of enrollment after the Second World War. So there was Vancouver, there was UBC ready to be made, while the Torontonians condescendingly referred to Vancouver not as a city at all, but a room with a view. For the next 20 years, Helen and I, teaching at UBC, also involved ourselves in founding the Arts Club in Toronto, where artists and people interested in the arts could meet and share their work. We formed a poetry center which shares UBC and CBC and the public library, poets that we invited from all over the English-speaking world. The audiences increased and grew so enthusiastic that poets were asking us if they could come and do it rather than our having to invite them. It was a very exciting time. I even was involved in International House. I was assistant director there the year the new building was built. I was in a Quonset hut, as we all were, but the building was going up, and right in the middle of the construction, the architect died in a mountain climbing accident, which left the building unsupervised except for the contractor. I was hired to be a student advisor, but I roamed around in that building and made friends with people. And 4 weeks before we were supposed to move in, one of the workmen told me that the sewers were not connected. I called buildings and grounds and said, oh no, the sewers for International House are connected with the sewer extension that's going to be made for the fisheries building. I said, where is the fisheries building in progress? Not even on the drawing table. The feds are paying for it. And that's why there's no place. Well, I told the president, you know, the Rotarians have raised money for this, the professional news, but they're not really very pleased if they're moving into a building without running water or flush toilets in 4 weeks' time. Well, we scrambled around, found the money, and in 4 weeks' time, the sewers were hooked up. And I have always felt that I made a very basic contribution.